Hey basketball coaches, today I'm going to give you the basics on basketball and why you need basketball plays. Really quickly, if you like basketball plays, drills, and skills, hit that like button and subscribe, but also go check out my dad's YouTube channel. We just recently went on a cruise together and I got this shirt, so if you like this shirt, definitely also go check out his YouTube channel if you like to travel. So, anyways, why do we need basketball plays? There is a fantastic reason. They help you win games. It's a strategy. It's the same as in chess. You have strategy in chess. It's the same as in soccer. You have strategy in soccer on how to win. And I'm hearing that there's a few coaches, and I've seen it way back, even like 10 years ago when I was coaching, that a lot of coaches just say, you don't need plays. Let the kids do whatever they want. They're 12, 13 years old. They're smart enough to be able to coach themselves. Well, that is false. I don't know where those coaches are getting their information from, but generally speaking, you need basketball plays to win games, whether it be on defense or on offense or just trying to get the ball in from the sideline. So I'm going to start really quickly on the defensive side. What types of defense are there? What are they? And basically the strategies behind different defenses. So let's get down to the clipboard really quickly and I'll explain to you this. So this is a basic, actually a little bit more mediocre to close to advanced full court press. This is a 1-2-1-1 diamond press. And now it gets its name because the ball would normally be down here. So this is the front of the press and it would be a 1-2-1-1. That's where the name comes from. If you ever hear it being called the diamond, it's because that's a diamond. Now, from there, basically the idea behind every single press defense is to force the ball towards the sidelines. At the younger age groups, you can trap along anywhere on the sideline, and what I mean by being trapped is when you've got two players who have double-teamed a player along the sideline. Meanwhile, at the older age groups, they're going to be trying to bait you into trapping them along the sideline before half court so that they can reverse the ball, which allows them to get past half a lot easier. I've got other videos on why that works and how that works, so go check those out as well. If I remember, they will be linked below. But the main idea behind a press is to trap the player, the offensive player, at half in the sideline, and that will allow him to stop his forward momentum. And then if these other defensive players have been spread out evenly and perfectly, they are going to be able to pick off any of his passes out of that trap, and it's going to allow you to come back down and score quite easily, at least if it's done properly. There's a half-court press as well that you can run, and a basic half-court press is a 3-2 half-court press. And the idea is the same, and that is to trap the player along these corners. And how that's going to happen is these players are going to be a little bit tighter up top, and when that player dribbles up towards player 1, he's going to then try and force him towards player 2, and they are both going to try and force him into that corner. Now, getting down to half court. In the half court, there are different zone defenses. 2-3 zone and a 3-2 zone are kind of the most common that you will find, and the same idea applies. They are trying to force you towards the sideline to trap you in these corners, but also they are trying to keep you out. At least the 2-3 zone is trying to keep you out of the key, and generally speaking, every zone will try and keep you out of the key because that is a high percentage area to shoot from. So they're going to try and force you towards that sideline and that corner of baseline. They're going to start doubling you until you get into that corner. And depending on how the coach likes to coach, this could be single coverage in this corner, or you could drop down. Different coaches have different ideas behind how a zone defense works, but that is one idea. The other idea is to just force you into another player and double team you right here from the free throw line extended so that you can then not have anywhere to pass to other than the high post, which is getting into my next point. The high post is one of the areas where you can beat a zone defense, but I will get into that later on in this video. Now, as you can see, in a zone defense, this would be the top of the defense, and this is where the name comes from. in the zone defense. So this would be a 3-2 zone defense. If there was 2 players up top, that would be a 2-3 zone defense. So that is where the names come from. Of course, this is a video based on basics, so if you already know that, well, there you go. It's okay. Anyways, so going from there is a man-to-man defense. And there's different ways of practicing a man-to-man defense, but I'm just going to go really quickly over this because many coaches and players already know. And that is, you've got man on, you've got 1 pass away and 2 passes away. So by being being man on, you are tight. Being 1 pass away, which means that you're 1 big step away. Being 2 passes away means that you are 2 big steps away. And that's how I like to explain it to my players. When the ball gets swung over, that's man on, 1 big pass away, 1 big step away, 2 steps away. And because you are 1, 2, and 3 passes away, you are 3 steps away, which generally puts you in the block. In the high post, you're going to be close to man on, 1 big step away, and you're going to be 1 big step away here. This is what we call help defense. The reason why it's help defense is because if player 4 was to drive, player 4 would be able to step in, take 1 step in, and try and either cut off that drive or steal the ball from the player 4 who is dribbling and driving towards the net. Player 3 would be help defense, who comes over to try and take that charge. Player 5 would then drop down a little bit so that now he's covering 2 players, so that if player 4 tries to pass out to player 2, he can hopefully try and pick off that pass. Same as player 5, if he tries to pass to player 5 red will try and pick off that pass. And that is a very basic explanation of what help defense really is and how to run man-to-man defense. Now, of course, there is also offense that is extremely important because, of course, in defense, if you're not playing defense, then you're not going to win the championship, in my opinion. But you're not going to be winning games if you cannot score. So this is the offensive strategies and plays that you could incorporate. So here we have that 1-2-1-1 diamond I explained to you earlier. As you know, they are trying to force us towards the sideline and preferably into those corners. So what you're going to look to try and do is have obviously a basic inbounds play. So player 1 is going to then cut down towards this corner and pass to player 1 blue. Player 1 red is going to then move over and try and force player 1 up that sideline and to stop the pass from happening to player 3. Player 3 red is going to move over and player 2 is going to move over. 4 is going to move over slightly and same as player 1. Same as player 5. Now, preferably, they want you to go up this way. However, you can take 1 to 2 dribbles and attack that gap. This is a simple way. This is not a specific play on how to beat a press. I've got many other videos on press breaks. You can go check that out. This is just a simple strategy. Player 1 will then pass over to player 3, and player 3 needs to attack player 2. Player 3 is going to attack player 2, and that's going to bring player 1 and 2 over. He's going to pass over to player 2. As you've seen here, pass and swing. Player 2 can then quickly pass up to player 5 before the defense moves over towards that side. Player 5 can then attack or move over towards the middle. If he's not a very good ball handler, if he can get 1 to 2 dribbles closer to the middle and pick up the ball, we've now beaten their press because we've gotten it past half and we are not trapped along those corners. So in my opinion, that is a successful press break. We broke their press because we were not trapped and we got past half. Now on offense, if you're just going along and doing what a couple of coaches I've heard say, which is just, oh, they can do whatever they want. Well, if they're doing whatever they want, they could be just trying to do one-on-one and do whatever it is. They are basically freestyling at that point. And that can be good if you've got somebody like Allen Iverson or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. But generally speaking, you're not going to have a player like that in elementary school, high school, college. You might have it in college, but high school and elementary school, you're definitely not going to be having a player like that. So you need to have some kind of structure. And this is a very simple structure that you can run. It's called the 5-out. which means 5 players are outside of the 3-point line. And there's 3 basic plays that you can run out of the 5-out, and you can run them essentially all at the same time. And what I mean by that is one player could do a pass and a cut. The next player he passes to could be a pass and a screen away. And another player could be a pass and screen 4. Now, if you're trying to figure out what the heck am I talking about, player 1 could pass and cut. When he's cutting, he may be open for a layup. If he is not, then there are 5 spots on the court that players need to be in for this offense. And essentially what you're looking to do here is have player 4 fill that position, player 3 is going to fill that position, player 1 is going to pop out. Now, if player 5 passes to player 2, he can go and screen for player 2 because that would be a pass and screen 4. Player 2 could use that screen, have an open shot. If they switch, player 5 could have a nice mismatch. A mismatch is when a taller player is on a shorter player, or vice versa. Or if they don't switch and nobody's open, player 5 could pop back out, or he could screen away also and maybe get player 1 open somewhere in that area. There's a couple of different options there. This is still a freestyle kind of offense, but you have structure. And structure is important to win games. And then a pass and screen away is when, let's say, player 2 passes to player 4, he screens away from where he passed. Player 1 is now getting open. He may be open for a shot. And then, if he's not and they switch, player 2 could be rolling towards the basket for a layup. And then, on top of it all, he could then screen away. He can just pop out, and that would be the end of that set. Or he could screen away for player 5. Player 5 could be cutting across. This could be a quick bullet pass to player 5 for a layup. Or if that's not open, then again, we're still in a 5-out, and we can still run some kind of a play. Now, there are quite a few set plays that you can run with the 5-out. And I've got many of those on this channel, but that is just kind of the basics of the 5-out. Now, I hope that this coaching basics video helps you become a better coach and win more games. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and make sure to go check out my dad's YouTube channel called Trip Reviews, and the link in the description is below. I'll see you guys in my next video.